Hey everybody. So Mike inspired me to go find mine, and yeah, here it is. I lost a little thing that goes in here, so I actually just used a piece of coax just to test the vacuum. And it still works after all these years. The soldering iron, unfortunately, didn't work, so I just got another one, and of course I still have the SX80 handpiece. I'll probably put this thing back together. Maybe I'll use it. I don't know. I got another one actually off of eBay. I haven't gotten it yet. Just because it was cheap. And I mean cheap. These things are, yeah, they're cheap on eBay now. Considering that this is, for all intents and purposes, these things are, or at least when I bought mine new, I mean thousands of dollars. So, yeah, but that's not what I've got today. I've actually got one of these. Yes, it's bedraggled, and some people may recognize the VC-100. This was a device that, you know, had some noise toys and echo and things like that in it. But one of its unique features was that it had a voice inversion scheme, and that was so that only two people with these boxes could communicate with each other. You plugged this into the external speaker port, and it has a speaker in the bottom, and that decoded the audio. You know, the only disadvantage to that is, of course, anybody else who had one of these things could just listen in on you anyway. But they were expensive for what they were. And I know people, these things are still really sought after. People really still want these things. Little guy in there is getting fussy. People still want them. You know, echo, scrambler, compressor. You know, so I don't know. I was going to take a quick gander. I never opened one of these things up before. I was going to take a quick gander in this thing and see what it's all about. I got this thing years ago, and it has an A on the bottom of it, but it's got a 5-pin plug, so I actually don't think that that's right. I think that's been changed. It also has a 5-pin on the other end. I suspect that it's probably been made for a Cobra 5-pin. So, kind of nasty inside. We got this little board flapping around in the breeze, just like it's going to touch onto that metal bracket. It's probably a good thing I opened it before I even fired it up. That's just hanging right there and flapping in the breeze. It's just, wow. Really? What's on that little board? Relays. Oh, it was double-sided tape to the ones below it. Okay, so they just stuck two-sided tape, and it's come off after all these years. I mean, this thing's probably 30 years old. That piece of foam that was in between there, that foam has had it. I mean, that foam is just done. So, yeah. Oh, pulled the cover off the relay. Piece of two-sided tape, stick it back down there. It's got the classic Mashusta MN3008 and MN3101, which one of them was a clock generator and the other one was, that's part of the echo. Those were used in all kinds of things. This component I don't recognize. You know, that Motorola MC1496, some kind of CMOS. I recognize the number, but I don't recall what it did. There's another MN3101 down there, a crystal. That's probably part of the voice scrambling bit. Got 5 relays in here. Bunch of pots. The typical, you know, 80s circuit board. Just, you know, wires all over the place. That's something else, I'll tell you. Now, as far as that plug, yeah, somebody's changed that. That was not probably originally a 5-pin connector. Somebody's changed that. This cord, probably the original cord, zip tied, got a grommet, still kind of loose, but yeah, it might work. I'll probably have to get it on a radio. I don't have another one. I don't have another one of these things, but it's just a voice inversion, so it actually nowadays it's probably simple to decode it. But back when they made this, it wasn't such an easy chore to decipher that. I know some cordless phones used voice inversion as well, so that you couldn't use a scanner to listen to them. And you could actually, I think you could just plug this thing into your scanner, and you could probably listen into cordless phones. Now this component down here is just interesting to me. It's I don't recognize the symbol of the maker of the IC. 7910CF. I have no idea what that is. We've got some SIP packages in there. Oh, they're probably op amps or something. That definitely is an op amp. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, this thing's just got nothing but, well, you know what? It has melodies in it, okay? And you switched them on the back. You got the melody selection, and you got the P. I think the P is the Roger beep or something like that. But the melody, or was the P the melody? I have no earthly idea. You got a toggle switch here that you can. It played music, and that's probably what that 7910CF component that I don't recognize is. That's probably the thing that has the. Because it's in a socket, and that's kind of a dead giveaway. Actually, it's socketed, so it would be okay. You get them with these with the tones, and they just change the chip because the chip has the tones in there. I'm just wondering how difficult it would be to to power this up and hear it, but I don't know if it plays out of the speaker or not. I just don't know. I suppose I could give it a whirl right quick and see if it does anything. Just stuff 12 volts into the thing and see if it even turns on. See what it does. So let's give that a quick go here. All right, so we got 12 volts. That's just no smoke. Sort of leave that out of the way there. Power compressor. You can hear the carrier on the voice scrambler part. That's that. I don't know if you can hear that tone or not. That's the carrier. Controls are dirty. That's the carrier for the voice inversion. It's a high-pitched noise. So yeah, I don't know how to make it make the noise. Let's just see if I can't. Ooh. Yikes. That was not expected. Is there a volume on this thing? It's all the way down. Oh, that's the monitor. There's a monitor part of it. Okay. I don't know. That thing sounds bedraggled. I think it needs to be fixed. That's definitely keying it up, though. But I don't hear the melody part of it. So something tells me that the melody. I'm probably blasting somebody's blasted ears out here. You can hear it. Oh wow, this thing sounds horrible. Oh, I see what's going on. I got the current limit on my power supply going. So when I key it off, it's just dropping the voltages drop on it. Whoopsie. There we go. So that was one of the tones it had made. Okay, so, yeah, that part of it clearly works. It's just, oopsie on the current on the power supply. I turned the current down on my power supplies, just because, you know, for accidents and stuff. And so I just cranked the current all the way down on it. So it had power enough to turn it on and to do a little bit, but it was limited. So, yeah, oops. So, the tone, what happened to it there? Yeah, I'm gonna have to fool around with it, clean it up. I mean, at least, and I'm guessing when you turned it off, it didn't, you know, it just passed through. I really don't know how these things I don't really know how they work. I know that I've got it, and, you know, I'm going to have to probably, you know, pull it apart and see what it does. Now, the melodies are interesting, because they actually sound pretty good for considering how old this thing is. So, anyways, no notion of a date on this thing. Let's see, we got some... do we have any date codes on, yes, 20th week in 1989. Yeah. Let's see if that one down there, kind of jives with, 36th week 89. So, yeah, that's about right, I would think. So... late 80s, extremely late 80s, probably 1990, very, very early 90s. So, anyways, that's the squealy, oopsie, because I didn't give it enough power, RF limited VC-100. Now, these things came under different names, too. I think they came under RF limited. This one's an RF limited, Palomar, and you got these things in a variety of names, but this thing, this is kind of how you doing, as Dave Jones would say. We've got some relays and some relay drive stuff going on there, and I better be careful with it. Some wires will fall off, and I'll never be able to figure out where they went. Shitload of caps in here. You know, let's see. These are. I have no idea what that QR with an up arrow is the brand. What? Okay. Yeah, I can't say that I've ever seen that or heard of those, but you know, it still works after all these years. Well, 1990. Let's just say 1990. 2016. Yeah, it's the damn thing's, you know, approaching 20 years old. So. Anyways, I hope that was interesting. Got any ideas on what I should do with it? Let me know.